Hey, what's up guys, from the Monkey Making Misplaced channel. I'm Cat, and here with the rematch series, I'm going to be posting the Granfia deck profile. Last time I played this deck, it really didn't do much. You guys saw that I didn't really get the Noboros token off, I didn't really get the plant tokens going, but you know, with one new support card, who knows, maybe the whole deck will change and it'll become a lot better. But just for people who don't know, we're going to start with the right line. Obviously you got a little puppy here to just draw you a card, that's pretty good. And the grade 1, when you just write on top of it, when you write onto it, you just get a plant token, so it gives you a little booster. That's pretty good, allows you to hit some numbers, makes it a little bit harder for your opponent to guard. The grade 2 makes you to write up free. It keeps you a little bit of hand advantage. This deck has pretty bad hand advantage, so anything that you can get is pretty much like great, but not much to talk about that. It's just pretty simple. But the main boss unit, Granfia, Lavien Lord Granfia. On V, once per turn, all plant tokens on your rear become plant gauges. Then you can call a Noboros token to your back row center. That's this chick, we'll get to her in a bit. And put all of your gauges onto that unit. And on V, during the battle as unit attack, you can put one or more up to a total of 5 Noboros tokens or plant gauges into your drop. Choose one of your rear guards, and it gets +5 for each of them. And then if you did 3 or more, you get to stand that unit. So it's a 4-attack deck. It makes your 4th attack really big. I mean, it's cool and everything, but in practice, I have not been liking this deck. I'm a huge fan of plant tokens. I used to love playing Neonectar back in the day, but I haven't been able to really do much with them. And the last deck profile I did, I just put emphasis on a lot of draw power just to get like a lot of pieces. But anyways, the Noboros token, she cannot be moved to other circles, and if you have a Vanguard or Granfia card name, all the fighting effects are active. When you would call a plant token, you put it instead as a gauge to her, and she gets +5 for every gauge on her. And when you would retire rear guards as cost, it can be paid by retiring a plant gauge. So it makes it so that your plant gauges will stack on the bottom of her. So you actually do want more than 5. And then instead of retiring one of your other rear guards, you just retire one of these, and they don't take up slots. So that's pretty good. It allows you to make a better board than just having 5 plant tokens, which is why I thought this deck would be a lot better than it is, but it hasn't really performing that well. But we did get a new support card that I'll get down to later. But that is the ride line. Moving on with the rest of the deck, Persona Ride is very important. So we're playing 3 more copies and the Chalice. Not much to say. Persona Ride just lets you hit better numbers, gets you an extra card draw. And for the last grade 3, we just played 2 Inlet Pulses, kind of a Stochea staple. At the end of the battle, there was 4 more taps. You throw them in the soul and draw a card. I used to play it at 3. I put it down to 2 just because I wanted to put more emphasis in this version with plant tokens. But I still wanted to keep some just because soul is kind of important. Even though we do have mushrooms in this deck, just nice to have an attacker that can remove himself from the board. And he replaces himself, so that's not too bad. Moving on. The only grade 2 in the deck, Orange, but he is an incredible grade 2. When he is placed on rear guard, you may call a plant token in the rear. And front row rear, at the beginning of your battle phase, if you have Vanguard with Granfia in its card name, you may call a plant token. Pretty good. It allows you to do a little bit of grade 2 rush, even though every time I've tried, my opponent has ripped a defensive, and it just feels really bad. But when they don't, it's 3 attacks, because you'll just call 2 plant tokens on the left, Vanguard middle, and Orange on the right. This is the only grade 2 I used to play one that if you Persona Road, you get to give like +20, +10 to like 2 different units. But honestly, this is the only grade 2 you need. And this deck plays a lot of grade 1s. So first we're playing Fairy of Condor Darien at 4. At the beginning of your battle phase, if you have a Vanguard with Granfia in this card name, you may call up to 1 plant token to rear. And if you have a Noboros token on rear, counter +1, draw a card. So again, really cool. It does everything we want, which is call plant token and draw you cards. He is a promo, but I think he's super cheap now. I think he's maybe like $4 a piece, so not too bad. If you don't have him, don't worry about it, but it is a pretty good card because it does everything we want. For Pumpkin, his effect is very simple. If you have Vanguard with Granfia in its card name, soul +1, and call a plant token to rear. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you get to call 2 instead of 1. Really, really good. Just gives you a lot of plant tokens. It does cost a soul, but like I say, we're playing Inlet and we're playing Mushroom at 4. Throw him the soul, and then you get 2 plant tokens if your Vanguard is. If you just get 2 plant tokens, and if your Vanguard is Granfia, you get to get +5 to anything in the rear guard. So that usually doesn't matter because a lot of people just play as in other decks just for the plant token calling. But in this deck, you just get +5 to anything, like a Noble Rose token. And you would do that because of the new card. Rosarium Fairy. He came out, I believe, in set 12. When he's in his place on rear, retire 1 of their rear guard. Remember, it could be a plant token. And call it to 2 plant tokens. So it turns 1 to 2, which is pretty good right there. And when he attacks, if you Vanguard with Granfia or Leonore in his card name, and your opponent Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose 1 of your other back row rear guards and increases unit's power by that unit's power. So essentially, you're just going to target your Noble Rose token, because that thing's going to be like 30k, so he gets +30 off of that. Really, really good. Just a really big beater. That only works when he attacks, though, which is weird because he's a grade 1. But, you know, we'll take anything we can get in this deck, honestly. Really good support card, though. He's been doing wonders in Leonore, so I'm hoping he's going to pull some weight here. And that's it for the main units. And, of course, for PGs, we're playing very regular, and the 1 Blitz I said I had. I always forgot to put him in the other deck, but finally I can use it. Will it matter in this deck? Will it matter in this game? Actually, yes, because Flagberg's guard restrict is actually really awful. So this allows us to get past it because it's just like, hey, I'm not guarding technically. I'm just playing a little order. Just a little cheeky thing you can do with this order. Moving on to the triggers. We're playing 4 effect crit. While I always say I never force people to like play these, but soul is kind of a thing in this deck, so the fact that this puts us up into soul is really nice. Not a necessary card, but just nice to have because soul does matter. And then we're playing 4 regular crits. I used to play 7 and 4 draw. I'm kind of going more for like a rush, and this just helps. I haven't tested it quite yet with 8 crit. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between 7 and 8, but hopefully this does something. I'm still playing 3 draws. Fronts aren't super necessary, now with Rosarium Fairy, giving us more power to the front row. Of course, we're playing 4 heals. I have this effect heal, but honestly, they give you whatever you want. And I'm playing Red OT for the first time. Really good, gives you a 5th attack. You can choose one of your standing rear guards, and it gets to swing again. And in this deck, it's pretty cool because you can target your Rosarium Fairy, who's going to be really, really huge, and you can just swing with it hopefully 3 times. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy this deck profile. I am not a huge fan of Granfia because I thought he was going to be a lot of fun. Played a lot of him, and he never really performed well for me. But, you know, I am a sucker for the Noble Rose token. I mean, look at it, very pretty. But thank you guys. See you in the next one.